You know, the economy is about to implode. I mean, that much is pretty sure.
We've heard of Bitcoin. We've heard of Ethereum. You familiar with XRP and the efforts of Ripple?
I didn't have any idea that Ripple was going to become the kind of thing that it has become here.
They understand that this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity.
Ripple and XRP are going to be the global standard.
A single global payment network that connects literally everyone.
It's here. This year. It's here. It is here already. Yeah, I see.
It's my belief, based off of all the fundamentals that I've been seeing the past few years, is that we are well positioned and a lot further ahead than most people realize.
300 plus customers.
Using ODL for me as a customer has been a game changer.
On-demand liquidity is a feature offered within RippleNet that helps customers eliminate the need to pre-fund an account in the destination country where they're sending funds.
There's $27 trillion sitting in these bank-to-bank accounts. They're called Nostro accounts, Vostro accounts.
Bank money!
We're near an inflection point.
This may be your last hurrah here to try to get it in on precious metals and cryptocurrencies.
The real crisis is a dollar crisis. All the money the Fed is printing isn't going to have value. It's not going to buy anything. Prices are going to skyrocket. And in fact, this coronavirus is accelerating that process.
We need to go to a global virtual currency. Cash is trash.
And cryptocurrencies such as Ripple are vying for a spot in the cashless world.
How can I say this another way, people? I've been at this for years. Load up.
XRP. Going to the moon.
At the end of the day, when the music stops, if you're holding dollars or the equivalent, treasuries, muni bonds, corporate bonds, I don't care if your money is in the bank or under your mattress, you're getting wiped out.
Once this breaks out, we're going to hit 21, 26, 51, and then it's off to the fucking races forever, folks.
What's good, YouTube? This is RPU here, and I'm back again with another video. And guys, we are in the XRP endgame now. A liquidity crisis is starting to form in the markets. And XRP's time is coming. And XRP will shine, bringing on-demand liquidity to the financial system. Let's jump into this article from Reuters. U.S. stock market liquidity, quote-unquote, abysmal, adding to volatility risk. Liquidity in U.S. stocks has fallen to levels last seen during the COVID-19 sell-off 2 years ago, adding to volatility in an already nervous market. Market liquidity, or how easily investors can buy or sell a security without affecting its price, has been on a downward spiral for years. That's not good. In recent weeks, however, traders have been whipsawed by massive moves. Liquidity is abysmal, is the way I would describe it, says Rashash Bandari, Senior Portfolio Manager at alternative investment management firm Capstone Investment Advisors. As soon as anyone wants to move risk, there isn't an efficient mechanism for folks to be able to do so. If only there was some sort of on-demand liquidity that can move value. XRP's time is coming. Analysts said liquidity has been hurt as active investors who buy and sell opportunistically have been overshadowed by automated trading and passive investment strategies. They also blamed tighter regulations that have discouraged risk-taking by some brokers. On Thursday, for instance, Facebook parent Meta Platforms plunged in the biggest daily slide ever for a U.S. company stock, losing more than $200 billion of market value. I don't even be on Facebook like that no more. Like, it's just too much nonsense on Facebook. YouTube is where it's at. YouTube is where the intellectuals are at. Facebook is where the fuckery is at. Yeah. Wall Street's fear gauge, the CBOE Volatility Index, rose last month to a 15-month high of 38.94 amid a plunge in stock prices that left the Nasdaq down 9% and the S&P off 5.3% in January in the face of a hawkish shift from the Federal Reserve. The liquidity problem is not restricted to individual stocks. E-mini S&P 500 futures, one of the world's most widely followed financial instruments, are also flashing a danger sign. That's not good. Low liquidity exacerbates market swings and makes it harder for investors to execute buy and sell orders at a desired price. Episodes of scant liquidity contributed to wild market gyrations in March 2020 when the market crashed, when the S&P 500 fell by about a third, peak to trough, as investors worried about an economic shutdown related to COVID-19. One measure of equity market liquidity is the market depth of S&P 500 E-mini futures, which investors use to gain exposure to the U.S. stock market. These futures trade usually about 50 million of notional value at any given time. That number fell to around 2 million in late January. Wow. They were at 50 million and now they're at 2 million. There's no liquidity. Not far from the $1 million to $1.5 million level touched in March 2020. Look, they're even calling it a liquidity crisis right here. It's here. It's here. The liquidity crisis is here. Now, let me back up again. These futures trade usually about 50 million of notional value at any given time. That number fell to around 2 million in late January. Wow, nobody's trading. Not far from the 1 million to 1.5 million level touched in March 2020. Data from Capstone showed. Now it just stands at just under 5 million. We saw right before this happened, we saw a lot of the richest people like Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, all of these rich people, right? We saw them sell. We saw them get out of the market. And Warren Buffett has a major cash position on the side, waiting. And I think that this is what they were waiting for. I think we're going to see a crash. And there's going to be very low prices in the market. And then, if the stock market drops down, it's going to pull Bitcoin down and the crypto market down with it as well, because people are longing using margin and leverage, right? And so people sell their Bitcoin to cover their shorts in the stock market. But this is a liquidity crisis, you know? This crash might be so big that everything might drop. And then we have Tether in the background, which is another video that I plan on making. Tether is a major, major scandal. I didn't know how bad Tether was. That could pull the market down. Like, we're talking 90%, a 90% drop in the markets. And if that happens, there will be no liquidity anywhere. There will be no liquidity anywhere. And that is when XRP's time will come. Another liquidity metric shows the share of equity exchange traded funds as a percentage of total equity volumes at 45%, the highest in at least 2 years. low liquidity in individual stocks has pushed investors to increase their use of equity ETFs, according to JP Morgan. They're trying to get liquidity anywhere they can get it. In addition to the March 2020 sell-off, deteriorating market liquidity contributed to equity market corrections in September 2021 and October 2020 and December 2018, JP Morgan analyst said in a recent note. A similarly abrupt deterioration in the equity market liquidity conditions appears to have exacerbated recent market moves, they wrote. There's a deterioration of liquidity in the equity markets. That's crazy. And that is where XRP is going to shine. We're going to the moon. Investors pinned the dearth of liquidity on a variety of factors. For one, they said tighter regulations in the aftermath of the global financial crisis curtailed large broker-dealers' capacity to take risk. Another factor has been the shift to market making for securities from humans to machines. Trading programs sometimes pull back liquidity when volatility spikes, experts said, which can exacerbate market moves. Also, some investors cited the rise of passive investment strategies. While active managers looking for trading opportunities have historically provided liquidity during times of stress, systematic and passive strategies may not be allowed to do so due to strict rules about how and when they can trade. Well, the crypto market is open 24 hours, 7 days a week. Come over to the blockchain, man. Come over to the blockchain. Liquidity risk is grossly underappreciated. Steve Sosnick, chief strategist at Interactive Brokers and a former options market maker. As investors crowd into winning stocks, they become oblivious to the fact that it becomes increasingly difficult to exit in mass. Wow. So all these people are getting into stocks like Facebook, Netflix, the FANG stocks. And there's not enough liquidity for everybody to get out. So these people are going to get absolutely wrecked. They're going to get wrecked. There's not enough liquidity. Wow. That's crazy. People are going to get wrecked. That's the end of the article. We are starting to see the start of the liquidity crisis. I'm getting kind of nervous. I have a couple pieces of silver, but I may want to pull a couple dollars out the bank, man, because we don't know. Jim Rickards was talking about Ice9. They were planning on freezing the system until they can make the switch, right? We don't know how long that freeze is going to be, Could it be a weekend? Could it be 2 weeks? Could it be 2 months? Could it be 6 months? Could it be a year? How long would it take for the system to switch over to the new financial system? And so that's why you got to prepare, man. Do you have enough food? Do you have enough water? Do you have enough cash? Do you have a way to, sustain yourself? Do you have shelter, electricity, all that? What if the power goes out? They've been talking about a cyber attack for the longest. And so we're getting closer and closer to the end game. And XRP's time to shine is coming. Share this with your friends. This is RPU, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.